Welcome to EduRev.
Hello all. In our previous session, we saw different important terminologies. Let's have a quick recap of it. Now in today's session, we will be seeing some more terminologies. So let's start with our today's session. In our previous session, we understood the meaning of credit transaction. So in relation to that, let's introduce two more important terms, that is creditor and debtor. As we have discussed in credit purchases, where Mr. Raj made the purchases of goods on credit and he is going to pay his supplier, say after 20 days. So in this case, the supplier or the party who has given those items on credit are known as creditors. So basically, creditors are the persons or entities who have to be paid by an enterprise an amount for providing the goods and services on credit basis. So now can you guess what would a debtor mean? Yes, the debtor would relate to credit sales. While Mr. Raj would be selling the products during the year, there can be possibilities that some customers paid the amount immediately. But at the same time, there can be some customers who have not paid immediately and ask Mr. Raj to give them few days time to make the payment. So here the credit period is allowed by Mr. Raj to his customers, and in that case, those customers whose payment is pending are termed as debtors. Thus, debtors are the persons or entities who owe to an enterprise an amount for buying goods and services on credit. Now we have seen that many times when we shop some items, the seller gives us discount. So let's discuss this term discount in accounting perspective. Basically, the discount is the deduction in the price of goods sold. There are two ways of offering the discount. One is trade discount and other is cash discount. Here is the meaning of these two discounts, and as and when we move forward, we will get a detailed idea about these two discounts. Now all these purchasing, selling, giving goods on credit or receiving goods on credit are known as transaction in accounting. An event involving some value between two or more entities is known as a transaction. So in addition to sales and purchases, it also includes payment of expenses, payment of furniture, capital introduced by owner, drawings, etc. The transactions can be cash transactions where money is immediately exchanged, and there can be credit transaction where both the parties agrees for future date payment. Now whatever sales Mr. Raj has made during the year would be termed as a sales revenue of his business. Revenue in normal term is also known as income. There are other items of revenue as well, like commission earned, interest and dividend received on investment, rent received, etc. For functioning of Mr. Raj's business, he must have paid some bills like for rent, electricity, and so on. So these payments which occurs day to day or monthly are known as expenses. But sometimes he must have incurred expenses for purchasing asset, and this expense is going to give him benefit for longer time. So such expenses are known as expenditures in accounting. Spending money or incurring liability for some benefits, service or property received is called expenditure. Few examples of expenditure are purchase of machinery, purchase of goods, purchase of furniture, etc. Here note that if the benefit of the expenditure is exhausted within a year, it is treated as an expense or revenue expenditure. On the other hand, when the benefit of the expenditure lasts for more than a year, then it is treated as an asset, which is also known as capital expenditure, such as purchase of furniture, machinery, etc. Have you got the difference between expenses and expenditure? So let's move on. Now every individual starts business to earn some money from it. So if the expenses are more than income, then it would be considered as loss. And if the expenses are less than incomes, then it would be termed as profit. Now there is one more term related to this, which is gain. Now what this term means? A profit that arises from events or transactions which are incidental to business, such as sale of fixed assets, winning a court case, appreciation in the value of asset, etc. are the examples of gain. Let's take an example here. Say Mr. Raj purchased the shares of XYZ Limited at a price of 15,000 and later he sold those at a price of 18,500. Then here there is a gain of 3,500. So friends, even though the term profits and gain are used interchangeably, but that is not correct. In accounting, there is a difference between these two. Profit is the summation of total income less total expenses derived from the income statement of business, whereas gains only represent a section in the profit calculation. Don't worry, we will understand what is the income statement and how do we calculate the profit as we proceed ahead in our journey of learning accountancy. Moving further, in our first session, we used these two words, assets and liabilities. So let's discuss those terms. Assets are any physical things or rights owned that have monetary value. So in the business of Mr. Raj, furniture would be termed as assets since it is owned and used by him in the business. If in future he purchases a new shop and computers in his business, then that would be also termed as an asset. Debtor balance from whom the amount is due or the stock unsold lying with him are also assets of the business. The assets can be broadly classified into two types, non-current assets and current assets. We will study both these terms as and when we move ahead. So this was all about assets, which is basically mean the resources owned by the business. Now what are the liabilities? A debt or the amount due to others by the business for the benefits received, then it is known as a liability. So say the shop rent for 2 months is not paid by Mr. Raj, then this amount will be liability for his business. Now the liabilities are also classified into two categories, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. In simple words, liabilities are the amount payable by the business to others. So friends, that's all for today. All these terms discussed are very much important and used while doing accounting. So make sure you understand all these terms very clearly and make your fundamentals of accounting so strong that in future, your strong base makes accounting journey easy and fun. After completing this video on basics of accountancy, you can enhance your conceptual learning through notes and tests prepared by our expert teachers through EduRev Infinity. We have 5,000 plus questions and 1100 plus documents created for you to learn the concept and practice the problems so that it helps resulting increasing your scores. With EduRev Infinity, you can access every primary subject of your class. So keep watching our further videos and let's enjoy this journey of accounting in a very interesting manner. Thank you.